Hey, everybody, thanks for joining me today. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino conservative. Hey, guess what? We're finally thawing out. That's right. If you live totally under a rock, just so you know, last week, Texas was frozen. I was sleeping in my truck last week because it was warmer than my house. But no major damage, no harm, no foul. All I've got to do is replace a faucet. That's the only thing that broke in my house. So no biggie there. It's a $10 fix from Walmart. Oh, well. But some stuff on the agenda today. I've got a great interview with a gentleman who is a congressional hopeful from New Jersey. And he's going to be talking to us about why he's going to run for Congress and what he plans to do when he gets there. I've also got some about Ted Cruz. People have mixed feelings. Some people have some very mad feelings. Some people have some, oh well, feelings. I'm going to give you my opinion on what's going on with him and how I think that ties into the 2022 elections already. But before we get into all of that, a quick word from our sponsors. If you haven't heard by now, there is an app out there called Cash App, and I'm sure most of y'all have heard about Cash App. I use it on pretty much the daily. I use it everything from using day-to-day transactions with the debit card that I get through Cash App. Cash App will tie directly into an existing bank account so you can transfer your own money back and forth. What I also use it for is if my family or my friends have some struggles, especially with the coming light bills that everybody's been hearing about, they may need a little extra cash in their pockets. And if I have the extra cash and they need it, by all means, I'll be able to send them some cash instantly. And vice versa. If I need some cash and they have it, they can send it to me instantly. There's no charge for that. You get a banking account, a checking account with the routing number and account number so you can set up direct deposit for that. And like I said, you do get a debit card with it that is acceptable wherever Visa is accepted. You also can trade stocks with it, and not just stocks, Bitcoins. A lot of people get tied up in the stocks like GameStop and AMC and stuff like that. And yeah, you can do that. But what I've been getting into lately is Bitcoin. You see, with the regular stocks, you can do a couple day trades a week before they say stop. As you know, their rules. It's lined out in the rules. But with Bitcoin, you can trade as many times as you want, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The stock market is open 5 days a week from around 8:30 Central to about 4:30 Central. The Bitcoin market is 24/7. So if you're like me and sometimes suffer from insomnia, you can start trading your Bitcoins in the middle of the night if you want to. Now, the way you can get Cash App if you don't have it already, go to www.thelatinoconservative.com. I've got a link set up there that you can download Cash App for free, and it helps me out. Every time somebody downloads it that doesn't have Cash App right now, it helps me out a little bit. It helps me keep this show running. If you already have Cash App, on that same website, thelatinoconservative.com/Cash App, I've also got a link there that you can donate to the cause. Again, it's totally free. If you don't have it right now, click on www.thelatinoconservative.com/Cash App. Download it there. It's free. Okay, so here is Mr. Scott Price from New Jersey. Hey, everybody, this is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino conservative. Today, I've got a special guest with me all the way from New Jersey. I've got congressional hopeful from New Jersey, Scott Price. How you doing today, Scott?
Doing well. I appreciate you having me on the show tonight. Hope you're staying warm down there in Texas.
Oh, yeah. We were up to almost 80 degrees. Texas weather's basically saying, hold my beer. So yeah, you're running for Congress. I know you're going to do it either in this term or next term. Either one. I know that the challenge for running for Congress is a really big challenge because I'm working on that myself. But tell me, what made you make up your mind to make that choice and run for Congress?
I look at the current political landscape of what is going on in today's country. I look on both sides. I am a staunch Republican. I am conservative, but I really don't feel as though anybody in our current government has the interest of people at heart. I feel there's very few. I would say less than 5%. And I look at this landscape of what is happening on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. It just continually gets worse. And change has to be made. There has to be somebody that stands up in Congress and asks the question, why is a $1.9 trillion stimulus package being passed when roughly 10% goes to the people? Where is this money going? How are we continuing to put ourselves in debt by spending money that doesn't go to the American people? It's a different story if you're giving people thousands of dollars, every month, a couple hundred a week, whatever. Look at the waste that has been in the last two bills. And the fact that it is accepted as a norm, it's just money going to the $50 million going to the Kennedy Center, millions of dollars going to businesses that don't need it. I understand they were hit hard, but if a Fortune 500 company can't manage their budget for a downturn such as this, then they don't need a bailout. And the most recent package, millions of dollars going to a bridge project for Schumer up in New York. It's just waste. It's just waste. Gender studies in Pakistan, millions of dollars.
You brought the one up that really got me. Gender studies in Pakistan. I mean, wow.
I mean, here's what it is, and I'm not a conspiracy. It's money laundering. The government is laundering money right in front of our eyes. They are finding ways to spend money and hide it, and they're getting away with it. That's all it is.
I totally agree with you. There's more money out there that is going to other countries right now than is going to the American people, and I'm right there with you. That needs to stop. That I think people should be prosecuted over that because it's literally, in my eyes, costing lives. People can't afford to live with a $600 stimulus check that they got. I mean, come on, really?
My mother is in her late 60s. She is very high risk because of a prior car accident, and her immune system has taken a downward turn over the last few years. She has still to this day not been vaccinated, but we have given on record, we've given vaccinations to undocumented immigrants. We've given vaccinations to terrorists in Guantanamo Bay. I mean, there's just something backwards about what is going on in this country when our own people are being pushed aside. And let's talk about the citizens. I heard pledge after pledge, we're going to take care of the elder, we're going to take care of the people that need it. I had to listen to these self-righteous ivory tower celebrities saying how we're all in this together. We're all one country. And as soon as the vaccine rolled out, every single one of them lined up to get a vaccine. Arnold Schwarzenegger showed up in his Hummer. I mean, it is outrageous to me that these people, politicians, celebrities, they sit up in their ivory towers and they're so out of touch with the American folk. Maxine Waters doesn't even live in her district. I encourage Maxine Waters to just walk your district for 5 minutes. But the middle class is being deprioritized at such an alarming rate. And I'm fed up with it.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people fed up with it. That's why a lot of the regular guys, the average people, and I say guys, and that encompasses everybody, male and female, and whatever else you want to identify. But the average person is taking steps like this. I mean, I totally disagree with her politics, but Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she was a bartender. I got to give it to her. I'm a sales guy at heart. I'm a car guy. I do sales, marketing, all that type of thing. So I really do appreciate her hustle, but she's doing kind of exactly what you touched on right now, reaching out to the ivory tower people. She's claiming that she raised $4 or $5 million now for Texas, when in actuality, it's been Beyonce and Reese Witherspoon that have done the brunt of her work. Did you know about that?
I did not know where she got the money from. Let's backtrack to what you said though, and I've made this very public on my statements about AOC. Like you, I don't believe in her politics, but the way AOC got elected by just simply knocking on every single person's door and having a conversation with them, I respect the hell out of what she did and how she did it.
Absolutely. And like Maxine Walters, her incumbent opponent that she primaried out didn't even live in the district. So you might have, a shot there. And I really do wish you the best on that. But let's see. Let's touch another topic real quick. You mentioned something about gender studies earlier. What is your thought on, and this is a pop quiz type question, but it's been in the news a lot lately. What is your thought on transgender boys who identify as girls or males in general that identify as female competing in women's sports?
I think it goes back to the term deprioritization. I think you're deprioritizing and you're devaluing females that work hard, females that work their whole lives to get to a certain point. There's very, very few, and I say this, lightly because I know they'll, yes, like Simone Biles. There are girls that are, Serena Williams can be 80% of the male population in tennis, right?
Mm-hmm.
The overall percentage of the male population is just physically more developed than females.
I agree.
So when you have a biological male competing with females in a female sport, you're devaluing all the hard work that the females put forward. I hear the cries now. I hear the cheers. I should say the cheers. I hear the cheering from the left. I would love to see, like a 6'10" guy, guy built 6'10", looks like LeBron James. I'd love to see him go drop 40 and 20 a night in the WNBA and see how long they accept it.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't compete with it. It's just not fair.
It's not, because you hit it right, you hit the nail right on the head. Biological males are built bigger and stronger than biological females, and it's just it's fact of life. And the reason I brought that up because I just recently read stories after stories about specifically girls like in high school, how they were contenders for state championships and contenders for scholarships even, and they were denied that because boys that identified as girls competed in their category and won. And to me, it brings back the whole fairness thing, equality thing. I think boys competing as females isn't an equal rights thing. It's just an I want to win type thing sometimes. What else? Tell me something else. Why, the question that I hear a lot. And when I started to make the decision to run for Congress, the one question I got that was consistent, and I know you don't know who you're running up against yet. People probably haven't registered through the FEC, but why should someone vote for you?
My parents, I know every politician has this story. My story can be fact checked. So if Snopes is listening, feel free to run a fact check on this. My mother came from nothing. My mother was homeless. She worked her way from homeless to the mother of 5. We came from a very moderate middle class family. I started as a simple machine operator at a local manufacturing facility, and I've worked my way up to an operations manager of a $75 million corporation. Wow. I am extremely self-made, but I come from the people that I'm going to be representing, making the $14, $15 an hour, pushing buttons. That's where I came from. I came from where those people are now, so I understand what they're going through. Not many other politicians can say that. They're either born into politics, they're raised in politics, they know somebody, and they get in through some sort of nepotism. I have no connection to politics. Not a single person in my family has ever run for politics. I don't even think I've ever thought about running for politics. I'm running on a self-made message that I came from where you people are.
Same here. Same concept I have. My dad grew up on a dirt floor. So, I do understand that struggle. What about that 14 to $15 minimum wage actually? What do you think about that?
I don't believe minimum wage, the cliche saying, is not meant for a living wage. I
Correct.
think I think your pay, and I it is reflective in America. I think your pay should be reflective on the skills and the education and the knowledge that you have. What I will say, what many people don't want to face, being in manufacturing, I'm in the concrete industry right now.
Hmm.
Being connected with other facilities around the country, I can name you no less than 5 facilities in 5 different states that will bring you on at $19 an hour to start. And that situation is everywhere. You can walk into any manufacturing, any distribution center and start out in the $16 to $18 range with full benefits and retirement. And people don't understand that. They don't understand that. You can get tuition reimbursement for as much as people rag on Amazon. You can walk into Amazon making in the teens with benefits and retirement. They'll pay for your college degree and you
Hmm.
will progress. Same with
Hmm.
Walmart. Well, Walmart doesn't pay their cashiers enough. No, but their cashiers have access to benefits and tuition reimbursement. So you go back for a certificate, an associate's degree, and they're going to pay you more money. There are a million different avenues and a million different venues out in the world today where people can improve their self or improve their position and improve where they are and improve their standards. And people just don't want to take it, just don't want to reach out and take that help that's offered.
Absolutely agree with that. As a manager myself, as someone who's been in management or leadership in general since I was 16 years old, I got a lot of the I want to do as little as possible, but I want everything. I want everything, but I don't want to work for it. So yeah,
Right.
I get that. And then like your example with Walmart, yeah, they may pay minimum wage, but the fringe benefits on top of that, they more than make up, and you get more than minimum wage with that. College reimbursement to for example, we all know how expensive college is. I didn't get a chance to go because my scholarships ran out, so I didn't get to finish because they were too expensive. All that reimbursement does add up, and it does equate to more than just your 725 minimum wage.
Right. But I don't even think Walmart, everybody I talked to, Walmart starts out $11, $12 an hour, even for cashiers.
Mhm.
So you start out at $11 or $12 an hour, and you go back and you get a 6-week business certificate. Now you're a customer service manager making $15 or $16 an hour. Now you transfer that certificate to an associate's degree. Now you're up around $18 or $19 an hour.
Mhm.
That's life.
And
I
in Texas, you go to Bucky's. I mean, we all know Bucky's, at least in Texas, we do. I'm not sure if y'all know those in New Jersey. You might have heard about them, but in Bucky's, you go to Bucky's, you start at about $13 an hour with all of those benefits as well. There's more options out there, and people just look at the surface of it. Um, One thing that I've heard time and time again, and this is for someone who is a freshman in Congress. I've been warned about it. I know people in Congress right now that are, well, this is their second term, but they were freshmen last cycle. They said as soon as they are sworn in, whether they're Democrat or Republican, after they're sworn in, they do kind of like a meet and greet. They meet the heads of the committees, the seniors there, shake hands, both parties, and then they separate into their respective houses, their respective parties, and they're each told it's not about what's right. It's about getting votes for your party. What's going to be your reaction when you are told that?
Those people don't vote me in. My constituents vote me in. The line of people that I'll piss off already to this point in my life is around the block. And those
Hmm.
people that I will deny and turn away can just get right in line behind them. And it'll just get longer. I'm there for my constituents. I'm there for my disabled mother whose benefits get cut every year, whose Medicare gets cut, whose Social Security gets cut. I'm there for the people that I work next to running a hot extrusion press line in 80-degree weather or 110-degree weather in the summer. I'm there for those people. I'm there to take restrictions off of business in a safe manner. I'm there to bring jobs to my area, and I'm there to help my constituents grow personally. And that's what I'm going to tell the people.
Great answer. I love that answer. I kind of have the same mentality view as you do on that one. Any last things before we disconnect here?
Yes, I think, I look at, like I said earlier, I look at the state, I look at the current state of this country, and it just makes me so overwhelmingly sad what's going on. Everything from censorship to the hatred and the divide that the mainstream media is pushing. What I encourage your listeners to do is to turn off the TV and just go talk to your neighbor. Talk to somebody that's from a different background than you. Talk to somebody who you think you hate. If you have a neighbor down the street that you don't like because the media told you to, go talk to him. I bet you it changes your opinion 100%. And I just think right now what's going on in this country is a wedge is being placed between minorities and citizens and whites and blacks. And I just turn the TV off and go talk to your neighbors. Go get to know them and stop letting the mainstream media divide us. I've been very outspoken about the media. I think the mainstream media is our enemy. I think what they do to smaller people and smaller media like you and other people and the way they censor them and blackball them, I think is disgusting. If you speak out against one of CNN's beliefs, you're going to get blackmailed. You're going to get blackballed. You're going to get pushed off the air. And I think it's disgusting what's going on.
As do I. Great advice, though, that you said. Go out and actually talk to people. Communication is, I want to say, maybe just 5% the actual words that somebody says. And the actual words is conveyed through text, is conveyed through mediums like Facebook. But when you're actually talking to somebody, you get to see their body language, you get to see their tone of voice and what they do and what they actually feel. There's something about that actual face-to-face communication. I don't know if there's like an energy exchange or whatnot, but there's something with that face-to-face communication that you can't replace. You can't even remotely substitute just text. That's why I choose to do this way. I do a podcast. It's a video podcast. It's a audio only podcast because I can at least give out my tone of voice and people can see my body language as well. But there's still something about that in-person face-to-face contact when you talk to somebody, your best friends. I've got a best friend in Victoria, Texas. We go round and round on Facebook over political advice, political stances. We hate each other practically on Facebook, but you know what? When we're face-to-face, that is my friend. That is my brother from another mother. I will go in front of a bullet for him. And that's what you just said right there. Face-to-face contact, meet people, get that spiritual connection there. Hey, Scott, really wish you the best of luck in your campaign, whether you're running in 2022 or 2024. You got my backing. Anything I can do to help out, just let me know.
I appreciate it, Andrew. I appreciate having me on today, and maybe I'll connect with you again soon.
Absolutely. And hey, I do travel for work, so if I'm up in the Jersey area, I'll hit you up.
Come on up, buddy.
Cool. Again, wish all the best luck to Mr. Scott Price. I think he's going to go far with his campaign. I can't wait till I start my official Congress campaign. I'm taking a few extra steps before that, though, just so y'all know. I am going to be running locally, something like city council, school board like that, just so I can get my feet wet. One way you can help with my campaign is by becoming a sponsor of this show. If you become a sponsor of this show, that'll help me, one, keep this show running, and any excess that I have from this is going to be used towards my campaign. The way you can become a sponsor of the show, it's as simple as going to the link in the description here in the YouTube channel, the Rumble channel, or if you're listening to this through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Anchor, any podcast that you see that this audio is sent to, there is a link in the description that says become a sponsor. You can do it easily through Google Pay or Apple Pay, as little as 99 cents. There's three options there. There's 99 cents, there's $1.99, and there's $4.99. And you can cancel at any time. Any benefit that I have from that sponsorship first goes towards keeping this show going, keeping the website going, and then any excess after that goes towards the campaign. Now, again, my campaign is going to start off small. I'm starting on the local level, but those cost money too. Any help will be appreciated. Again, click the Become a Supporter link down in the description. 99 cents, $1.99 or $4.99, and you can cancel at any time. Hey, everybody, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, I do want to tell a little story real quick. So if the editing between this segment and the Ted Cruz segment is kind of choppy, that's why. I filmed this one separately. But just about everybody knows about TikTok already and how they've started a while back silencing conservative voices. So I did something. I went to Clapper. Clapper is an app that's similar to TikTok. And right away, it took me forever. It took me like 6 months to get 3,000 followers on TikTok. But in a matter of 6 weeks, I had over 5,000 followers on Clapper. But Google has been pressing TikTok, just like they did Parler. If you don't remember Parler, Parler is the app that was another social media app that got basically taken down. They had their database removed off of Amazon after Google and Apple decided to flex their muscles, their big tech muscles, and say, hey, we don't like the content that is on your platform, so we're going to not offer your platform anymore on our stores. They started pressing Clapper on the same thing. And you know what? Really and truly, I do see some of the point on there because there's some information. There's some super alt-right conservatives out there that I really don't like what they're doing. I think they're detriment to the movement, to the conservative movement. But I posted a video, an opinion video. No real information there. Here's that video. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez raised $2 million, and you know what? I to be honest, doesn't impress me at all. Let me tell you why. She's claiming to do this to help people, help the Texas people. And you know what? Quite honestly, we're good. We're back operational. We're Texas. We got this. You know, when we sent thousands or millions of people to New York to help with the pandemic, we didn't ask for anything back. You did this. We did that out of the kindness of our heart. We did that because you needed help. You did this for your own political gain. And if you think otherwise, anything otherwise, that she didn't do this for political gain to bash Ted Cruz because he is on the right and he supported Trump and Orange Man bad, then you are fooling yourself. You're being a sheep. She did this strictly for political gain, and that is it. She's here right now with Sheila Jackson Lee claiming to help Texas. You know what? We got this. We're good. Go back home. So it's basically talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's fundraiser. What I felt about it. TikTok still has that video up there. It's cross-platform posted. But I got this message from Clapper. Kind of disappointed. I didn't really give any information at all. It was just strictly opinion. But they said it was harmful. They said it was misinformation. Been going back and forth with them in emails, but they still haven't said anything about it. I'm going to repost it, don't get me wrong, right after this video posts, but still. Big tech does not like conservatives. They don't. Big tech is silencing conservatives. I've had more than one post quietly removed off of Twitter where I just shared a link that was not the most socialist liberal link ever, but it was slightly conservative. I can't even remember the link anymore. All I know is that it got removed. I think it might have been one that I wrote. And the only time I quote information there is when I find the information on an official source. For example, I find articles on, not articles so much, I find data off of a .gov website, or for ERCOT, their website. I found data off of their website, but it's official data. Yet I will get silently and quietly removed because it doesn't fit the agenda. Okay, so on to the meat and potatoes of my opinion. Ted Cruz had some heat, and I can kind of see why he got some heat. You know, Texas froze, but before everything hit, the proverbial crap hit the fan, I should say, before all of that happened, he and John Cornyn, they got with President Biden, as well as Governor Abbott. They all three got with Joe Biden and requested that he declare a state of emergency for the state of Texas, which he did, kind of. But either way, after that was done, that is all he had the constitutional authority to do. He then took his family, which included his kids and his wife, to Cancun and came back. Now, if you're just joining me, if this is one of your first times hearing me, what I do for a living is I travel the country and I train car dealerships. I do a lot of remote work as well from home. What I also do is when I'm on the plane and I need to get something done, the airplanes have Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is that special magical tool that connects us to the world via the internet. It's available on planes too. So I work sometimes when I am on my plane traveling. And Cancun isn't that far of a flight for us anymore either. Most of the time, they're direct flights, especially from Houston. Get there in a few hours and that's it. So while he was on the flight, he was also working. On his way back, he was working. You can send text messages while you're on those flights too. I do it all the time, especially with the iPhone, and about half the people have iPhones nowadays. And if you don't have an iPhone, you have WhatsApp, or some flights even you can use Facebook Messenger. Those can all be used while you're in flight. Also, you can text from your computer too. There's that technology out there too. Go figure. But, far be it from me, the guy that doesn't know much technology at all. I train technology. Go figure. But he could do work while he was on the plane. He most likely did work. First, I really don't know how media got wind that he flew to Cancun. I mean, aren't those records private? He didn't use government money. He was not allowed to. He took him, his wife, and his kids to Cancun, dropped them off, came back to work. That's what he did. That's what I would do. I live in a small town right near Houston, Texas. In fact, it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to get to Houston. But I live between Houston and Galveston. So guess what we have here? We have these things called hurricanes. These hurricanes can, destroy houses, destroy towns. But before I moved here to this part of Texas, I lived in another town called Victoria, Texas, which is about 2.5 hours south of Houston, about 2 hours north of Corpus Christi, southeast of San Antonio, southeast of Austin. We're right in the middle. We're known as Crossroads. A few years ago, we got this little bitty hurricane that people in Houston got as well, except we got it first. It went through our town, did a little curve, and then went up to Houston. This is hurricane called Hurricane Harvey. Yeah, y'all didn't hear about Victoria. It devastated Victoria. There's houses out there right now that still aren't recovered from Hurricane Harvey. I had a roommate there that had 3 kids. We lived in a pretty decently built house, nicer house, brick house. She went to Fort Worth with her kids. I don't blame her at all. While Victoria was sitting here without power, without water, her and her kids were safe in Fort Worth with power and with water. I can't imagine anyone in the world who had the opportunity to evacuate to a better place that had power and water and heat. I can't imagine anyone would have that opportunity and not take it to protect their kids. But right away, the left is saying he went on vacation. No, he didn't. That's false information. He took his kids to safety. Then they started talking about how some of his wife's text messages were leaked. One of the New York papers got a hold of it and said that she was inviting friends over. Well, I got invited to go to Fort Worth too. I did. I opted to not go to Fort Worth because my parents lived in Victoria. They were older age and I want to make sure that they were okay. Just because she invited them does not mean that they were all going to go have a hunky-dory time on vacation, go on a Cancun cruise, eating lobster and going sail fishing. No, that's stupid. But the left, again, took that as an opportunity to leak personal information. So they had personal information about the flight leaked. Text messages that are private, that are protected, leaked. What was Eric Snowden charged with? Why isn't he allowed basically in this country anymore? I wonder. So that's a different point, though. I could go on about that one, but they had private information leaked. Why? How is that acceptable? That's not. The people who leaked that information should be criminally charged and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, because damn well if that happened and somebody on the right leaked that information, they would be charged. They would be prosecuted. They would be canceled. The left is using this as an opportunity to start their campaign against Ted Cruz. See, Ted Cruz is up for re-election in the upcoming midterms. He was elected senator from Texas back when Donald Trump was, and senators have a 6-year term. His 6 years is up. Guess who magically showed up in the picture again? Beto O'Rourke. Now, guys, if you're not able to put pieces together, if you're still denying that the left is up to some crap, then you might just want to stop following me. Because I'm going to call them out in each and every time I see this. And don't get me wrong, when I see the right mess up, I'm going to do that too. I'll call them out. But right now, the left is doing everything they can to further their agenda. AOC is out here gloating about the money that she raised in her charity or whatever you want to call it. I see that as more campaigning against Ted Cruz and campaigning for her Green New Deal. But there's another caveat through this. You won't find it through a Google search. Google will hide this from you. Just like they deemed my website as being a harborer of harmful information. But they will hide this from you. If you use a search engine like DuckDuckGo, which is what I prefer to use, you'll find that it's not really AOC that's raising the money. Reese Witherspoon has promoted that charity. Beyonce has promoted that charity. So guess who's really promoting the charity, the fundraiser, so to say? But she magically comes up with this right after Ted Cruz's quote-unquote conspiracy. You know, she from the beginning didn't like Ted Cruz. She accused him of trying to have her murdered. Da pendeja. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love her hustle. I really do appreciate that hustle that she had to get elected. I appreciate the fact that she is a capitalist. Oh, that's right. She's a capitalist. Don't let her fool you. Let me tell you how she's a capitalist. There are these sweatshirts that she is selling on her website. They say tax the rich. Guess who's rich? She is. Now she can buy those sweatshirts that she's selling at Walmart for like $10. Throw a screen print on them or Cricut, whatever you want to use for that. But she is selling them for $70. If that's not capitalism, I don't know what is. But she won't tell you that she's capitalist. She's trying to further the agenda. What I think happened is the Democratic Party saw they had this beautiful, lovable, high energy young lady that is now in the Democratic Party. They got to her. I really and truly think she was really hoping to do something for the people, but the party got to her. It's just my opinion. And everything I'm saying right now, just for my disclaimer, is my opinion. So YouTube, you can't take this down because it is really and truly just my opinion. But yeah, I think the party got to her. After all, when you get initiated, when you get wait, isn't that what she said? No, the actual proper term is when you get sworn into Congress. You do a little meet and greet with everybody else in there. Then you're separated into your respective parties. After you're separated into your respective parties, they tell you something. They tell you it's no longer for the people. It's about getting votes for your party. I find it hard to believe that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is now a millionaire, who prior to being elected to Congress could not afford an apartment in Washington, D.C., so she can go live and go to work. I highly doubt that she's actually doing stuff for the people now. She is doing stuff, proposing, doing whatever she wants to for the party. Because, I mean, she's a gorgeous woman. I kind of have a crush on her sometimes. Go figure, though. But they are starting their campaign against Ted Cruz now. Her, Beto O'Rourke, Sheila Jackson Lee, Maxine Waters, who doesn't even live in the district that she represents, all of them. They're trying to get Ted Cruz out, and they're starting now because Ted Cruz supported Donald Trump. He was willing to stand up for him and be an attorney for him in the election trials. So he's got to go. Orange man bad. You associate with Orange man, you must go to cancel, delete. That's just the way it is. That's how they see things. I wonder if all this extra publicity that they are giving against this smear campaign on Ted Cruz, if they're registering themselves as a super PAC. This in-kind donation stuff just doesn't sit well with me because at the end of the day, time is money. Some people's time is more valuable than others. AOC gets paid $175 a year. Beto O'Rourke, who knows what he gets paid now? I don't know what he gets paid, but I'm sure he does something. He is, take that back, he is probably just a lobbyist right now for corporations, for the Democratic Party, getting bills proposed that they want and not the people. So I'm sure he's making money, probably more now than he was making while he was serving, but his money, his time is worth something. Even as just a plain public figure, his time is worth something. So how do they break that down? How do they calculate that? They should register themselves as a super PAC, as should each and every media network that campaigns against Ted Cruz. One thing Ted Cruz is doing right now that nobody else is doing, he's putting his boots on the ground, rolling up his sleeves, and doing physical work. He is loading up cars with food, with water, out there in the public, doing actual physical work instead of just taking pictures with the homeless and saying you did a good job. Because that is the equivalent of what AOC, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Beto O'Rourke are doing. They're just going someplace for a photo op and then leaving. They're not doing real work. I personally prefer the guy who does real work and is not perfect, as opposed to the people that says, hey, look at me, look what I can do. Do you remember when George Bush rolled up his sleeves? Bill Clinton rolled up his sleeves. Barack Obama, he went out and did stuff. You know, he didn't roll up his sleeves. There's pictures of that, but he still did stuff. Donald Trump came out to places and did stuff. What has Joe Biden done? He said, screw Texas. I'm not going to Texas. Well, screw you too. We don't need you. I can go on and on and on about extra stuff about the power grid that Texas has that is, even though it's our own, it's under federal control because of the emissions. I can go on and on and on about that. That's a whole different episode. And I don't know if I will because I've posted an article about that. If you want to hear more or see more about that, I posted an article about that on thelatinoconservative.com. I post articles on there pretty semi-regularly when I get time because, you know, I do work full-time, which some people should do. Isn't it kind of weird that the people who don't work full-time are the ones that argue the most and complain the most? I wonder. Is there a trend there? Hey, guys. Thanks for letting me rant and rave at you again today. Don't forget, become a supporter. Help support the show. Click the link in the description. 99 cents, $1.99, $4.99 a month. That's all it takes to help this show keep going and going and going and help me maintain the website. And then it's going to ultimately help me with my campaign. So help a brother out. Click that link. You can cancel at any time. Drop me a comment. If you go to thelatinoconservative.com, you can also contact me. I can be your voice. A lot of the right is being silenced. I'm not afraid to be silenced. I will be your voice. My name is Andrew Alvarez. Y'all have a good day.